Hi, welcome back. You're going to love this week's design challenge. What can we make out of everyday objects? To get started, we're designing a bird feeder and a rocket. Here's a really common milk carton. Looking from the side, I've cut these blue squares the same width as the carton, and I'm seeing how many I can stack in the height. Looks like it round about 3 times higher than it is wide. In isometric drawing, the corner is pointed towards us and the sides slope up, the same angle as the splat. My starting point is right at the bottom of the page so that I don't run out of room. Trace around the outside and that center splat. Good, now slide it upwards. Line up the end of that line with a point, but watch which 3 lines I'm drawing. 1, 2, 3. I'm not tracing under the splat. I'm going to repeat exactly the same step, just 3 lines. And slide up again. That's how we get our long carton. Let's do something different at the top. We're lining that up and we do trace those near edges and then rotate, flip the splat, line up those corners and draw it in. To draw this triangle shape on top, we're going to mark a line halfway along the base and then draw a line straight up to find an apex. Here's the triangle drawn in 3D. Let me show you how to draw it using the back edge. So on that line, you need to put a point halfway. Rule a guideline that's straight up and down, or vertical, and then mark off about 1.5 centimeters. That's the apex of the triangle. Now we know the apex joins to 2 points on the base. Right. Now once you've got your 2 triangles drawn, you'll need to connect the 2 apex together. Fantastic. The next part we're missing is this little rectangular piece at the top. And we know from the apex we need to come up. It doesn't matter what the distance is as long as those 2 lines are the same length. At the top, I can use the splat angle to join them. Great, so there's our carton. We have a few lines to erase. Let's get rid of those. Now to tidy up your drawing, erase your guidelines and then go over them with a ruler to straighten them all up. Nice, and at the bottom, this little dark line is called a shadow line. Makes it look like it's sitting on a flat surface. Now let's draw a bird feeder design. Use the edge of the splat to mark off 1 length. Now a left splat line, mark off 1 more length again, another left splat line, and that's the opening. I'm going to make it a little bit narrower by copying that line in a little bit, and the same on that side. Now I can darken in the shape of my opening. I think I might do something a little different at the top. I'm going to draw half a circle or an arch. Give it a little bit of material thickness along the bottom there. Great. The bird will need somewhere to land to feed, so pick a point and then draw a splat line straight out. Now I'm using the small ellipse, and you see those 2 little lines? Line them up with a line you just drew, and then draw a full ellipse. Slide it along the same line, and then draw half. Connect your 2 circles together, and there's your perch. You could also draw a platform. Draw a bumpy line on this splat angle to make it look like birdseed. Here I've erased a few lines so that I can draw my roof on. I better put a light guideline back in there to guide my circles. So I'm drawing lots of circles, and that's the ends of the sticks. I'm using sticks for my roof. I wonder what materials you'll use for yours. Now on the edge of each of those circles, just bring a line back on the same angle as the triangle with a half circle at the back. Try not to make them too neat or they don't look natural like twigs. A few little lines that start and stop add to the effect of a natural material as well. Use the triangle as a guide for your lines on the other side of the roof. Now I'm going to draw a rocket. It's based on the same carton, so let's trace that off first. I'm using a thin paper over the top of my drawing to trace through, but if you don't have thin paper, you can use photocopier paper by sticking your two drawings onto a window, and when the light shines through it, it lets you trace off your drawing. So there's the start of my drawing. I'm picking the apex of what will be a square-based pyramid. So there's the pointy top to the rocket. If you want it more pointy, make your apex even higher up. Now design your fin. Put a point on your rocket where you want the fin to come out. Line up the left splat line and draw all the way along. Go back to the point and then draw a vertical line. I'm using one whole length. I know I'm going to need to rub those lines out sooner or later, so sometimes it's easier to do it first. Now I can join the ends of those two lines together, use a ruler or freehand, and there's a fin. You can change the lengths to make the fins look different. Watch as I repeat the same process on the other side. Imagine extending that line all the way through the rocket. Where it comes out the other side, draw just a little bit, and then come up on an angle, and that's the fin on the far side. Do the same thing. Imagine it going through, keep going on the splat angle, and up. Fantastic! For the rest of the design, you could draw portholes, you could draw loading bays that hold satellites that put them into space. If you and your friends were taking this rocket to Mars to start the first Mars colony, what do you think you'd need to pack inside your rocket to keep you alive for at least a year on Mars? This is how to use two pencils to draw a circle for, let's say, a planet or a moon in the background. You could use the larger lips to draw one rocket nozzle underneath, or you could use the smaller one on its edge to draw lots of rocket nozzles. This is called a cutaway drawing. It's exactly the same drawing I've traced over again, but you'll see I've left the front walls off and I've added some levels. Have some fun imagining what you could pack inside your rocket for a trip into space. Thanks very much. I'm Glenn. Bye.